Live music. Trying this one with some music playing in the background. This is a Grateful Dead bootleg. As far as I can tell, I didn't look too much into it. I got it in a eBay bid. It looks like it was pressed in 2020. So this is the Grateful Dead in France, Hérouville. I don't speak French. Feel free to enlighten me how to pronounce that in the comments. This is June 71. This is really a great time for the Grateful Dead. They're really, deep in the cowboy thing. You can kind of tell Jerry's got the, the untucked button-down plaid with the, the boots and the jeans and everything. Looking like a real working man. But yeah, this is a great comp of, or rather bootleg. And so that's going to be playing in the background. So let's talk about live music. Live music is one of the great miracles of the world. As far as I was able to go to concerts, I've been going to them. I haven't been to a concert in obviously quite some time. And it's just devastating, man. I mean, live music, there's nothing quite like going to a concert, whether that's, seeing your favorite band play like, an amphitheater gig and you tailgate before, whether that's going to a $10 gig for a small artist at a small club and getting to see them and support them and meet them, or just going dropping in on a group or a person you've never heard of, seeing what they've got to bring to the table as far as live music goes. I love live music. I love recorded live music. I have a good bit of live music on vinyl, so I wanted to pull some of those and talk about some of them today. So I'll just get right into it. Louder. I mean, the most sampled drum break of all time, Mountain Live. The drum break on the live, or the Long Red, it's been sampled over like 600 times or something. This is, as a producer, this is an iconic live album for that reason. It's also just, incredible heavy rock. I'm sure everyone's, heard of this album and knows exactly what's on it. But don't sleep on Nantucket Sleigh Ride, is all I'll say. If you got 17 minutes to spare, definitely don't sleep on side B. Mountain Live. Towns, live at the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas. I'm a pretty big Towns Van Zandt fan. Somewhat of a recent convert onto the Towns bus. Nothing quite like, I'm sure Dylan at Noble knows about Towns, but what I've heard, I love. His self-titled album is fucking fantastic to me, but this kind of is some of, I think, my favorite Towns Van Zandt music. The live version of Lungs is literally sends chills down my spine. I found out about Towns Van Zandt. I of course heard the song Poncho and Lefty done, by Merle Haggard, but I heard the song Lungs in an episode of True Detective the first season, and Shazammed it and fell in love with it. Some of my other favorite Town songs, For the Sake of the Song, of course, Waiting Around to Die is one of the coldest songs out there. And this is just done in, the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas. He gets on, apologizes for the air conditioning being off because it's too loud for him while he's playing. He says, we'll get through this. It's dirty, it's dingy. You can hear beer clinking in the background. It's just Towns up there with the guitar, and it doesn't get better than that. So I'm trying not to say as much in these videos, so hold me to it. Nina Simone in concert, Emergency Ward. I think this was in 1972. recording engineer Ed Begley. Is that the actor Ed Begley? I don't know anything about it. But I'm pulling this out for the killer cover of My Sweet Lord, the George Harrison song that's on here. It's just totally filthy. I was just spinning it, and the drums were just blowing my mind. So if you haven't heard it, Nina Simone. I mean, I watched the documentary on Netflix. I think it's called What Happened, Miss Simone, and it really just is a great glimpse into her life and some of her struggles, and I think kind of the struggles of a lot of great musicians who kind of, make a sacrifice to play their music. They certainly, a lot of them have to sacrifice other things in their life, and that was certainly the case with Nina Simone. But the music was great. At that price, the music was fantastic. Everything she does is great, live especially. This is Ramones live at the Roxy. This is 76. I pulled this one. This one's cool. This was a record store day exclusive I got. It's out of 10,000, so how exclusive is that? I don't know. This one is cool because before they go into Blitzkrieg Bop, Joey kind of says, hey, here's the new single, Blitzkrieg Bop, which is just great, knowing how that song really blew up, and is kind of their defining song. And I'm kind of a sucker. I touched on it a little bit when I talked about Neil Young's Massey Hall. I'm kind of a sucker for when, you hear live music and an artist is introducing a song as being new, and it just turns out to be a huge hit for them. Blitzkrieg Bop could have already been a hit. I'm not that familiar. I read the I Slept with Joey Ramone book a few years ago. But anyway, that's a great record. I tried not to pull out too many huge hit records. Just because I'm sure you've seen it all 1,000 times, and I want to try and be able to switch things up. But sometimes greatest hits, they're the greatest. Live at Folsom Prison is kind of one of the definitive live albums for me. It's probably top 3, top 5, certainly live album for me. There's not much to say about it that hasn't already been said. 25 minutes to go. The hilarious song, hilariously sad song, I guess, if you think about it. But just the way he kind of counts down in that song it just gets me. It's an album that has a lot of heart, in songs like Folsom Prison Blues and, Send My Love to Rose, The Long Black Veil. But, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Cocaine Blues is fantastic. Folsom Prison, you know it, you love it. Johnny. This is, grab this, MF Doom live from Planet X. I don't know too much about this record outside of that. I bought it at an Urban Outfitters while my girlfriend was shopping in one in Columbia. And it's on pretty cool white vinyl. But this again is a fantastic album because this performance was recorded, I don't know the exact proximity, but right before, I guess, the Mad Villainy album dropped, because side 2 goes back to back accordion into Great Day. And Great Day is probably my favorite song off Mad Villainy. Before he goes into those, he just says, hey, but play some of those Mad Lib joints. So this was a really cool record. Again, just going back to me kind of really loving, hopefully there's not too much of a glare on that. Me really loving, live albums where an artist kind of, plays a song and introduces it before it gets really popular. And then the last one, or last couple I wanted to talk about, this is, again, probably another hit, really, but this is Cream Volume 2. So actually, before I made this video, I watched the Ginger Baker, Beware of Mr. Baker, I think it's called. Sorry if I got that wrong. Documentary, and just kind of fell all over again in love with Ginger Baker's drumming. It's just out of this world. And like, you know, to hear it on the studio albums is great, but to be able to hear him really unleash live is something else. Like the version of White Room on this is just insane. I think it's, you know, they talk about it in the documentary. I think, you know, Bruce brought it Jack Bruce brought it to him in 4/4 time, the song, and he kind of added, according to him, he added the little 4/4, dun, 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 which I really love. Like I mentioned, I'm a music producer. I really love sampling like tom fills in my beats. Really gives them life, and I mean, Ginger Baker was nothing if not full of life, especially in his playing, and it's just super evident on that live Cream album, but maybe even more so on this. This is Fela Kuti and the Africa 70s, the Africa 70 rather, with Ginger Baker sitting in. This was after Ginger had, you know, Cream had kind of dissolved. Ginger went to Africa and just kind of, you know, moved to Nigeria and inserted himself in that world. And Fela Kuti was the man of the time music-wise then. So they, you know, inevitably linked. There they are. And I mean, it's just, I mean, words can't describe how intense his drumming is. And he's really in a setting on this album where he's playing with Fela Kuti, one of the great African musicians of all time, and playing music that inspired Ginger to begin drumming, or maybe not begin drumming, but really inspired his whole trip. You know, as far as the you know, the African drumming and the Afrobeat type stuff, that's really kind of what sparked his interest, from what I can gather. And this is just something that I would highly recommend if you haven't heard it. You're looking for some killer live stuff. So hope that video was cool. Hope you liked that. I tried to keep that one a little bit shorter than the other two. Those are just some great live records. So if you're like me, you're missing live music, you know, maybe the next best thing is to just throw on a live record. It'll never be the same, but until we can get this thing sorted out, I guess it'll have to do. So thank you for stopping by. You know, I guess drop a like and a subscribe if you like the content, and catch you next time. Peace.